Education girls!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel.
Today we're talking about a process called chromatography.
So let's begin.
Do you ever imagine yourself as a scientist? Maybe you'll discover a new element or even win a Nobel Prize. You could be the world's next greatest chemists, like Marie Curie. If so, today's question might come in handy. We're learning about chromatography.
What even is chromatography? It's a way to divide a mixture into its separate components. There are a few different types of chromatography: gas, liquid, thin layer, and paper, just to name a few.
The word chromatography comes from the Greek words chroma and graphy. Together, they mean color writing. This is fitting as it started as an art technique. It reaches back all the way to the late 19th century, when people used it to separate pigments and dyes and paints.
Have you ever spilled water onto a piece of paper after writing on it with markers? If so, you may have seen chromatography. As water soaked through the paper, it smudged the ink. When the paper dried, you may have seen bands of many colors where there's just one single color of ink.
What happened to the ink? First, some of it dissolved into the water. The water is called mobile phase, meaning it helped the ink move across the paper. The paper itself is called the stationary phase. Unlike the water, it didn't move, not even 1 centimeter.
As the ink spread, carried by the water, its chemicals separated. These were caught by the solid paper through a process called absorption. Some of these chemicals are caught faster than others, meaning some move farther across the page. That's how the color bands end up on the page.
Before we go any further, we wanted to do the question of the day. Have you ever seen chromatography in real life? Send your answer in an email to the business inquiry, and we'll show you how to do it right now.
So, let me show you how you can email to the business inquiries email. So for now, our comments are turned off, and I'm still figuring out how to enable the comments. So if you guys know, please send me a video link to the business inquiries email as well when you tell us your answer for the question of the day on how to enable comments. So, as you can see, we are on the home page of Education Girls. That's where you will land once you click on our channel link. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe now. So, now there is home, videos, playlists, channel discussions, and about. So let's head over to the about section. And as you can see, there's the description of our channel. And for details, so if you scroll down a little bit from the top, you can see that there is details. And for business inquiries, view email address. So let's view the email address. Let's do I'm not a robot and submit. And then the email that you need will pop up on your screen, and you should be clicking on the email and it should load for you. So email the question, and if you know how to enable comments, please enable so that you don't need to keep going to the about page and doing the business inquiries email. Thanks. As the ink spread carried by the water, its chemicals separated. These were caught by the solid paper through a process called absorption. Some of these chemicals are caught faster than others, meaning some move farther across the paper. That's how the color bands end up on the paper. What we've described is an example of paper chromatography. That means that the mobile phase was a liquid. In this case, the stationary phase was a solid, which is the paper. The separation itself was caused by a polarity. That means the chemicals in the ink separated due to how attracted their molecules were either to the water or the paper. In a lab, chemists are most likely to use a method called thin layer chromatography, aka TLC. This technique is a lot like the paper method. The difference is that instead of paper, TLC uses a glass side as the stationary phase. How do scientists use chromatography? It can help them study the individual substances in a mixture. It can also help them purify a material by taking out extra chemicals. It's common in force sensors, pollution, monitoring, pharmaceuticals, and other fields. Can you think of any other uses for chromatography? Would you like to try it out in a lab on your own one day? Maybe you'll even find a new way to carry out the process. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and smash that bell. Don't forget to share the video with your friends and give a big thumbs up. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye!